Okay. Let's see, I've already made videos of this Izzet control deck, but I really like the list as I have it now. Let me go ahead and put that in the feed. It's changed a lot since I made the video, which was very early in the season, and I find it really good. The win conditions are what people seem to debate with me the most in the deck. And you can change up the win conditions if you don't like what mine are, but I really find it to be fantastic the way I play it. So then I have no problem getting the wins usually. Now I've said it, I'll get smashed. Nighthawk wants to know how Burnt Eggs is doing. It really lost the allure for me. It had to have a lot of removal to keep up with vehicles and the other like hyper aggro strategies that have followed vehicles. And that meant that you had to reduce the artifact count, and that meant that you got draws that were really weird, where you didn't have enough artifacts to do anything. And it was just getting really frustrating, as it required it required basically the perfect mix to be competitive, or at least at the level I enjoy. Now, it's a fun deck. I don't keep it around, though. It was one of those decks that is fun to play, similar to T-Merge sometimes, where it's like, I know these games are going to be hard, but it's a puzzle that you can enjoy solving. I just, more and more, as I think decks got better, every time I played against a good opponent, the puzzle was really hard to solve. I think people are figuring out what the right cards to play in all the more popular decks are. At least that's been my experience, and that's made some decks not as good as we hoped they would be. And probably the Showdown, and to some extent the Fight Club, are causes of that behavior. Just improving, like people improving, the good players anyway, the rank 40s and such, improving the cards they add to their deck, building more cohesive strategies. It makes some decks that you think are good when everybody is playing kind of wacky brews with strange choices, and you think you have a good deck, and then a few weeks in you're like, well, crap. That, for some reason, I can't win games anymore. This is usually other players getting better, and your deck was probably never as good as you necessarily thought it was, as other people figure out the format. I've had several decks like that over the years. One of my favorites was a blue-green deck early in Magic 2015. If you remember that iteration of Duels, it had cards like Arbor Colossus and Banishing Priest. Anyway, that's a whole other story. This is a blue-red control deck, and we are on the play against an opponent who has an avatar and sleeves, so that looks promising. This hand is a crapshoot. We're probably about 50-50 to draw our third land on time and hopefully a fourth and just run this thing over. And if that doesn't happen, well, GG's all, as we just get absolutely smashed. The Gideon sleeves typically mean vehicles or white weenie or Boros aggro without vehicles. But so far we've got a Forsaken Sanctuary. Interesting. And right off the top, no drama, we're going to hit our land drop. Let's take some inventory. And no drama, we're going to hit our fourth one too. Hopefully we're up against a black-white control type deck or mid-range deck. And hopefully they don't just main deck Solemn Offerings and Fragmentizes. But that's been happening more and more lately. Only 2 artifacts in the deck and they're these towers, so no point in slow rolling them. If he's got artifact removal in his deck, we gotta at least make him draw into it. An arrogant rabbit says greetings to everyone, and greetings to you. I'm the host of the party, and I'm playing the video games. You ever do that? You ever go to somebody's house, and they're playing the game, and they're hosting the party? So, like, there's a knock on the door, people come in, it's like, hey, how you doing? Come over here, get some chips, have a drink. But I'm also got to play this video game. It's so awkward. You feel like, hey, shouldn't you just host the party and let other people play the video games? But yet, that's not the way the Twitch world works. Oh, right off the top. Like a frickin' champ. I didn't even ask for it. Alright. Ways he could generate a creature at instant speed. He could fire up his Shambling Vent. But I don't think that there's very much he can do at instant speed, so I would definitely just let him commit to a play here, I think. And worst case scenario, we'll just have double tower glimmer next turn. Yeah, I know, Hanzo, this is crap. This shouldn't happen. This is ridiculous. This draw is nuts. So this is how every game pretty much goes. Your opponent does nothing, you play double tower, and then you generate energy like it's nobody's business. Here comes the Ceram's expertise. So we're going to be looking for the Radiant Flames as quickly as we can find it. Because there is a Westvale Abbey over there, and our opponent is probably going to make a lot of bodies. Weapon, oh, nothing to play. Uh-oh, he doesn't have any more threats below 3 mana, or at least nothing he wants to commit. Bombardment. Interesting. The scary thing is he could have hit for 14 if I didn't have removal. Yeah, that's a bit scary. There's no doubt about that. That's a bit scary. Alright. We're playing control, so a lot of instant speed, a lot of reactivity in the deck. And now that 2 towers are online, it's going to feel like we're just going to want to chain draw spells the rest of the game. Maybe kill a thing or 2 along the way. What does an opponent do in this case? Attack? Yep. I'm not going to try to shoot one of those with a tower because I'm going to try to find a Radiant Flames with all my draw power. And there's an Enthusiast our opponent didn't cast last turn. That's kind of interesting. Now, once again, we're going to want to glimmer and see if we can find... He's not going to put counters. He's going to go wide. Absolutely, he's going to go wide. Otherwise, we could just shoot it with the tower. So we're going to let him make those. And now we're going to try to find that Radiant Flames or more draw spells. And if we don't see it, we're going to start shooting things because we can't have Westvale Abbey going ham. Really? Really? Did that draw need to get better? I don't think so. Oh, you guys, if only they could all be this way. Oh, man. Getting lucky is fun. I'm humbled and honored to have won the lottery on this particular... Yep. There is definitely the option of bouncing an Ormondal with Jace. You just don't want to take 9 along the way. 6 mana for a Boiling Earth. That's right. That's the way we roll. Chandra's over here. She's got this grin. She has this really, really mean look on her face. And she's saying, "Neat token deck you got there. Caca. Pew 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 pew." Here comes the vent. Unfortunately for our opponent, we've got towers. So I hope they have another plan in mind. But this is probably one of those Hail Marys, like I have to try to do something. And I don't blame them. Ant. I don't know if I've ever played an ant. Alright, let's go ahead and fire at will, Commander, and put our opponent on the clock. Power up the Chandra. I may have said this on a previous stream, but the big difference between my version of this deck and others is I don't play any of the baby creatures. I don't play any 2-mana cards like Thing in the Ice or Baral. I don't play any of those guys at all, and I don't play Baby Jace even, as those just die to Grasp, Fatal Push, Shock, like a lot of the cards that are out there. Maybe not Shock, but they can die to other things. And instead I run all the take inventories and all the telling times to get more energy from my towers and get more velocity in my deck to find the cards that I really need in all the different matchups. Because when you're sitting against Planeswalkers, mill decks, things like that, you really just need to generate more energy and find the right cards in the deck that do the things you need done. So that's the big difference. It's really one of the only big differences in my Izzet control deck. Our opponent is going wide with the Augie. Making some tokens. Passing turn probably. Let's go ahead and tell some more time. Just keep the energy cranked up. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. More spells. Yippee. To the dome. To the dome. Alright, I'm going to show him the brutal expulsion. I don't think there's anything he can do. So, I'm going to show him the expulsion. I'm going to cancel it. And I'm going to let him have gold. I'm absolutely sure we're going to win that game. What are your sweepers, Hanzo asks. The deck list, you should be able to refresh and see it in my channel feed. But the sweepers are 2 Radiant Flames and a big Chandra. And again, we're giving gold in that case. Yes, our opponents are rank 40, but we already gold capped for the day. I feel like it would be a real waste to hoard to win the game and get no gold for it when our opponent may need the gold. You just never know. I mean, yeah, they're rank 40 and they're sleeved up, but we want to make sure that they can afford their cards in the future so they can give us more competition in the future. Jay Leachy, another rank 40. How about it? Alright. No blue is a problem, but we have plenty of energy generation. Telling time will probably get us there. This hand is keepable. It leans a lot on Chandra as we don't have card advantage, or we don't have a Glimmer, we don't have a Gear Hulk or something like that otherwise, or a Tower. So we're going to be leaning on Chandra, but I think this is a keepable hand. It might not be good against go-wide strategies, but we'll see. And our opponent's going to open with a card that pretty much screams go-wide strategy right after I say we might not be good against them. Life's funny that way. So there's a take inventory. If we find a regular blue source, that will be fantastic. And our opponent going right to work. Holy cow. 2 mana, 2/3, bringing it. So the question is, I think I play hub and hold up the lightning and see what our opponent goes for. Obviously they plan to attack a lot with that 1-drop and not make tokens with it. That's a lot of blue cards and not a blue source yet. That's concerning. If I get to use the lightning on this champ over here, I'll have blue mana for a little while. But it is concerning. Opponent, what are you doing? Okay, 1/1s it is. Well, that'll make Radiant Flames easier. Let's get this off the battlefield before he plays more humans. And that gives us 3 energy to make blue mana with, and now we can firecraft the 2/3. That's why I did not, hey, there's blue mana. But that's why I did not harness lightning the life crafter, because I wanted the energy in case we didn't draw a blue source. And I had the firecraft for it. Firecraft might have also gone after another 3-drop, like a Castellan or a Thalia or something like that, but turned out our opponent didn't want to play one. I doubt it's because they don't have one, so I'm expecting more creatures here after the attack. Now he plays Gideon and GG, I don't know. It would suck to throw my Firecraft off and then run into a Gideon. That would definitely be sad. But not this time. I can certainly say that those cards would be very, very bad for me. I do not argue that point. So does he play the 3/3 with lifelink? Now, if you could play if you could play four Gideons, then pretty much my whole line is so bad in that scenario that what I'm supposed to do that turn is play the island and probably telling time on end step or take inventory and save exquisite firecraft and let him hit me again with his creatures just in case he has a Gideon. Because Gideon would destroy that line so bad. But Gideon being a one of, we can take a different route. And I don't think I want to play Chandra here. I think I'd rather protect her more. So I'm going to fire off, take inventory. And probably going to tell time. Okay, Glimmer. That's pretty welcome. And no lifelink flash guy. That's good. I was a little worried about that. And it's a lifelink lone rider instead. Aspiring to someday be it that rides as one. And Lieutenant number 2. Okay. Wonder what I'm supposed to do here. He's gonna get 1 token on his rider. Let's see if we can find a Radiant Flames for the punishment. Not there. Not like that. What's the play next turn? Probably Glimmer to find the right cards. We could Chandra and tell time. That doesn't seem very good. We could Chandra and take out his 2/2. Because it would be out of range when it turns into it that rides as 1. So with that in mind, we can take the tap land, which we may need as we are all draw and no way to cope. So looks like Chandra has to die, as there's just not a lot of coming back from him flipping that thing. Only a few cards in the deck could do something about it. And that's too bad. But we've got enough draw that I'm confident we can find something else. And we want the fumerole. It can at least threaten to jump in front of these little guys. Captain in the house. Okay. Yep, that's how I would do it. Our opponent's only on 1 card. Doesn't seem like they have the life-linking flash guy, or they'd have played it. So their one card is likely a reprisal, a deck in stone. I think we can assume it's something of that nature. I'm going to tell some time right now to get an idea if there's something I can play this turn. I think that's better than a glimmer right now. Well, there's a disperse, and a shock, and a harness lightning. All very handy. What do we want to do the most? Because we do have to choose, and I don't think it's the disperse. Shock is probably the most helpful right now. And harness can come off the top in a minute. So if that's the line, let's get the hub down. I'm also not going to take chances. Let's shock right now. Alright. Because he could draw the lifelink guy and blow up our shock, and that would be sad. Because the priority would be on us to respond to the trigger that pumps all the dudes. Lone Rider. Gonna take damage. Lone Rider off the top. We already know that we have something on top that we want. It's Harness Lightning. I'd feel really bad if we revealed 2 other spells that I want, but that's such a good problem to have. I think we go for it anyway with the telling time. And sure enough, there's a land we can put on the bottom and 2 very good cards. Alright. Tower, you are the man. Or woman. Whatever gender you prefer your big, awesome complement of amazingness to embody. And again, let's just do it now. Let's not give our opponent the chance to draw something. And this will generate plenty of energy. And he's down to that servo he made a million years ago, it seems. Always watching off the top, pumping nothing. It's a good feeling. The 1/1 doesn't get the benefit because it pumps all non-token creatures, and it also gives non-token creatures vigilance. Couldn't the token creatures have gained vigilance at least? Man, they just got the shaft on that deal. Land off the top, not that good. Nighthawk thinks that Titanic Growth and Engineer Might are incoming. Well, even if they are, we can respond with the Glimmer. So is there something I'd play main phase after casting Glimmer? I don't think so. So just hit our land drop and say go. And see if he wants to attack into our Wandering Fumerole. That gives us information about his hand. Like, what could he have in that hand that would kill a Fumerole, for example? What would kill a Fumerole at instant speed? Right? Gideon's Reproach? And in fact, after we activate it, we can still cast the Glimmer. So I am thinking that this will also give us very helpful information about our opponent's hand. Celestial Flare, okay. Nope. No dice. If he wants to deck and stone it, I'd be like, thank you. I'd love to draw a card right now and get that last card out of your hand. Give me that sweet, secure feeling of an empty-handed opponent. Hello. Perfect. That was perfect. Can't draw it up better than that. And do we have enough for scatter up too? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, we do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Rock and roll. Yeah, man, that top deck, though, what are they gonna do? Oh, if we had 4 Gear Hulks, I would play 4 Gear Hulks an awful lot in this game. I think I'll just stockpile the burn. Do I need a shock here? Shock is a pretty weak card considering what I could draw at this stage in the game, but it is a spell. Yeah, we'll take it. More land, yay. Thought about going upstairs with tower, but I do think I'll just want to stockpile it right now. So this could be Blessed Alliance. If it's Blessed Alliance, do we counter a Blessed Alliance? It could also be some kind of art. No, it can't be Artifact Hate because we've had the tower out for a while. I think Blessed Alliance is the most likely. So if we're going to do that, I guess I can send with Fumerole and sacrifice that. We don't want to take all our blue mana down, though. So that'll do. Alright, let's go get Blessed Allied. Nope, wrong again. Oh well, happy to be wrong. It's a good time to be wrong. Alright, Tireless Tracky. Does he have a land that he held back? He does. So before that clue shows up, you get out of here. Gotta do it in response to the clue or you can sack it. Okay, Declaration in Stone. It's the last card out of his hand, so our opponent's dead, so we'll just fire this off. Show him the shock. Concede the game. Ugh. So he gets the gold and we don't. Because we wouldn't anyway, because we're not playing for gold. Our opponent still had a clue, but they would have only had 1 mana left. I don't think there's anything they could have possibly drawn for 1 mana that would have changed the outcome there. So I think it's safe to take the W, give the gold, and get out of town. And no, Nighthawk, I'm not worried about fog. Always fog. I actually think that opponent was probably very unlikely to have fog, but I've been surprised before. I've been wrong in the past. Words of Xbox wisdom. Fog. Always fog. Alright. Another sleeved up opponent. Another coin flip to play this on time. But we have pretty much all the cards we want. We just have to draw land or things that draw land, like take inventory, telling time. Arrogant Rabbit thinks that fog should equal an insta-concede. If I instituted that policy, I wouldn't win any games. Oh no. The turtle. Energy Turtle is here. the Now I Can't Lose card by Nighthawk standards, but we might not draw that 3rd land. You guys know I put myself in this situation. Scoop to turtle. Some suggestions that I scoop to this turtle. I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if I go there. Do I want to kill this thing, though? No, I really don't. I really don't want to kill this thing. If he puts like 2 or 3 more counters on it, we might disperse it and make him start over, but I'm not going to kill it. Let's see what we draw. Let's try to make more informed decision with our spells. Thank you. The suspense is over. Alright, get out there and go meet your reclamation sage. Hinterland Harbor. Gargoyle. Okay. Okay. Hey, bring on that confiscation coup, man. I'm ready. I am so ready. But, alright guys, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what you run this for, ever, but That's where Stu's taken his dueling. All right. Now what? I've got all this nothing I can do. He's got the 1/4. Maybe I'm gonna lightning it now, but let's at least make him tap more mana. Because I can take one all day. Let's make him generate some more energy. Let's make him do something with his life. Arrogant Rabbit, good try. It's exclamation point card, then space, Thieving Gargoyle. Okay, that was something I thought might happen. And we definitely want to kill this before he gets the energy to give it hexproof. Because you can do that with the energy trigger on the stack. Once he gains the energy, he can activate the hexproof in response to your spell, and your spell does not resolve. Thriving Turtle, moving up in the turtle world, living the life. That's why it's always important, not always important, as you saw cases last game where we harness lightning and shocked on main phase, but that's why it's important to be able to respond to opponents. Magic is a very responsive game. The fact that instants can be cast at instant speed is a big deal. It makes them about twice as powerful as sorceries. A sorcery of the same cost and effect. And here comes a life crafter, so some things are not changing. Let's see, I do really want to hit this with a Radiant Flames. Let's see, maybe our opponent still wants to cast something like a High Spire Infusion pump spell, which Disperse can stop. But I do want to use this Disperse, so I'm going to. If our opponent recasts the turtle, Radiant Flames can pick off all three. Life is beautiful. It's pretty much what I'm looking for. The good old Radiant Flames 3-for-1. And it would be great to draw a land, but we do have Dynavolt Tower up as a response if they play another Hydra. Although they have 3 energy now, so it won't work. Another Radiant Flames. Alright. We're going to go for 3. We have to use the Aether Hub and an energy for it, but we'll gain back 2 energy. So Tower powers back up. Creatures go down. But Bristling Hydra, if he played it, would be a problem. We'd probably, let's see, we'd have to force him to use 1 hexproof on his turn. And then what would we do? We'd be in trouble, there's no doubt. Hydra is a pain in the butt when it resolves with the energy to protect it. We've got Kessig Prowler. This flips to a 4/4, right? It does. So let's off you in response to the activation with the tower. Down you go. Sit, dog. Stay. Heal. Alright. Land. Definitely can't complain about that yet, or at this point in the game. Glimmer, Glimmer, Glimmer. It's probably next. This guy is cursing you, says Darigaz. I would not doubt it. Here comes Aether-Tide Whale. Now, let's check this out. He is going to gain 6 energy. He can pay 4 of it to bounce it. Let's harness lightning in response to make sure it dies, because he doesn't have the energy to bounce it now. Some people are like, yay, whale. Can we get a petition to save the whales? CGB's out there clubbing whales now. Not just seals. We're clubbing whales today. With our slick instant speed harness lightning timing. Oh yeah. Nighthawk demands that I stop killing my opponent's cool stuff. I hear ya. You guys can cheer for my opponent. It's totally cool. If they're playing a cool deck and I'm playing something that's no fun, you can get on team opponent. You can get on team Stu, right? That's the name, Stu. Yeah. You can jump on team Stu. I won't hate you. I'll take you back. I'll take you back. All right. Opponent passing with 3, and we're gonna get the Glimmer going. Been waiting a while to cast these Glimmers. As our opponent has kept us on our toes, we've had to respond to things. I'm going to take the Hulk, I'm going to count on the top of my deck to deliver a land, and I'm going to scry the other one to the bottom. And our deck isn't giving up the extra land just yet, but I have faith it'll come. Your Hulk can wait. Gearhulk and Chandra are the only 6 drops, and we've got plenty of things to do in the meantime. Alright, Stu. What the hey? Alright. We got another reader. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get that. You can pay 8 to return all other creatures as a sorcery. So this is just going to be a 6/6. And we're going to mess with his 6/6. We can just kill that with a firecraft and a tower activation, so... And he doesn't even get energy out of the deal, so... And we're going to let that resolve. Too bad you can't play 3 Tainted Remedies, Hanzo. It's rare, remember? It's rare. Alright, scatter off the top. I don't think we need this bombardment, though. I'll keep the scatter, though. And there's the other land. Alright, play that. Shoot the big monster. Shoot the big monster. Sorry, dude. I know your stuff's cool, but it's just gotta die. It's gotta die, man. I have to kill it. We have to be what we are in this world. Scorpion has to be the scorpion. Alrighty. On your way, Stu. Because next up is the big old Gearhulk. Unless he makes me do something. I mean, I guess that's a card. Let's see if he wants to activate it. Tick-tock. He's like, last time I did that, it got shot by a tower. Not doing that again. And I don't blame you, but now I'm gonna play this guy. Power up tower. And we got shock and a mountain. I don't really need either of those. Prefer more planeswalkers. Land is fine. Opponent is definitely a trooper. They have stick it out. All their cool stuff has died. They'll get gold if they hang with it. If they stay with it, they will get paid. The question is how to wreck his day, unfortunately. It's just gotta be what we gotta be. Alright, get in there. Opponent pauses. Opponent goes for the Aether Meltdown. That'll make it a 1/6. That's fine. Oh, but they get energy, so I'm going to pull the Brutal on them here. Yep, like this. We're going to return, and we're going to do 2. So we're going to return Gearhulk. We're going to do 2 to this. He's going to activate it. I'm going to shoot it. Okay, we're going to let the damage resolve from Brutal, because then it'll exile. I mean, this probably does not matter, but now it will exile the Prowler. This probably does not matter at all, but we do what we do. If we had shot it in response, it would go to the graveyard instead of exiling. Land to play. We can discard the tap land. Counter magic up. What could go wrong? Probably not much. Flavor defeat. Oh wow, that is really cool, Nighthawk. So Nighthawk enters for the MTG bot, which is my channel bot here on Twitch. Oh, and he puts exclamation point flavor defeat. And MTG bot says defeat. Quote, wars are decided one life at a time, unquote. From Var Brazil, a Culligan warrior from DTK. Which I can't recall for the life of me right now what DTK is. A lesser man would have been crushed. Yep, well spoken. This bot is amazing. I agree. I agree. Another good reason to watch streams live if you can. You YouTube folks. Walking Ballista, going ham. Yeah, go for it, dude. I don't blame you. but we're gonna have to say no. Sorry. I'm such a hater. So bad. I'm just shutting it all down. It is not right. Dragons of Tarkir is a note from Nighthawk to remind me what the set is. I should have known that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've hated on this poor guy so bad with my deck, with my cards. He just can't get there against these cards. It's too much. And he is sticking it out like an absolute trooper. Props to him. Plan for turn, go. Do you ever feel bad for your opponents? I do. How to make someone quit MTG. Okay, guys. I'd do a poll, but that would take too long. But basically at this point, I think I can fork over the cash, if you know what I mean. I think we can fork it over. If he sits through one more turn, he gets paid. That's the deal. He's only got to sit through one more turn. Barely. Somebody with their jokes. Mill yourself. Almost an option, the way that things are going, but no. No. Alright, if he sits through... Let's see. So we attack for 5. We have firecraft. Oh, he's got Harbinger. Look at the fight. Look at the fight from this guy. He is an absolute champ. So I'll show him the scatter that we could have countered it. Show him the firecraft so he knows he could have been dead. And I will concede the game, and our opponent will get gold to continue to grow their collection. Now, let's give the credit where it is, right? We don't know if our opponent has a full collection. We don't know that. And our opponent was a rank 32 on a green-blue energy deck. I wouldn't have the patience to grind to rank 32 with a blue-green energy deck. So we gotta hand out a lot of credit there. Charity or Scrooge? Well, I appreciate the couple of votes that we got. Not much of a poll there. We tried, but it looks like Charity defeated Scrooge 2-1, and we already forked over the cash anyway. That was pretty neat. So Nighthawk has so many tricks up his sleeve with this MTG poll. He goes exclamation point poll 60, Charity, and Scrooge. So he puts in the time and he puts in the options. That's really cool. I did not know about all these things. All right. I'm going to take a lunch break. I have had fun streaming with you. Thanks for coming out today. Maybe I will return, maybe not. But I hope you had a good time. I certainly did. And I'm out.